Hey, I'm Bubba.
And I'm John.
We use our questionable and sometimes traumatic childhood experiences to hopefully become better parents.
We might not succeed,
But listen,
they're fine. You have a house full of children. I just walked in, and I thought the woman sitting on the couch was your wife.
everybody does. It's my sister-in-law.
I'm glad I didn't, caress her shoulder or something weird.
Well, I have a few times accidentally. And she looks like her from behind. So
Yeah.
I'll be like, see, hey.
Yeah, and her face is very different, but her hair color,
Yeah,
and
similar
kind of her
color.
skin tone.
Yeah.
I swear I thought it was Jenna. It was really weird.
Did you think her son was Henry with the growth hormone supplement?
Yeah, he looks like Henry, but like Super Henry.
Yeah, he's like O'Doyle Rules. Hulk Henry.
Holy shit, he totally is.
He's totally O'Doyle Rules.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if they want me to.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, buddy, Uncle Bub. Uncle Bub is here. And I was like, why don't I give you guys a break? I'll take him out for, I don't know, bonding or something.
Sure.
So I literally go, what are you into, little guy?
Yeah.
And he goes, sports. And I go, fuck.
God. Any other answer?
I go,
would've been
which
okay.
ones? And his mom was like, all of them. And I was like, all right, well, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
But have a good trip.
If I was, him,
like, you like music? You like...
I would have gone, well, which sport were you hoping I was going to say? Why'd you ask?
Well,
all of them.
Then I started kind of doing a bit throughout their visit where I'll be like, I'll ask him sports questions. So I'll go, now football, is that the one you hit with a bat? And he'll go, no. He's just all mad about it.
How old is he?
I don't know. I think he's like 8.
You should just
7
tell
or
him
8.
you're really into, lacrosse or something that he would not have any idea about.
He probably would, though. That's the
And
thing.
he'd be like, a little bitch. You don't even know about lacrosse?
Yeah, I should do that.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you ever see Spring Awakening, the musical? He just punched me in the nuts.
Yeah, as deservedly so.
Yeah, this kid, I think he hates me, and I don't blame him,
Are they staying with you guys?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay.
staying. There's 4 kids here. There's tons of fights. It's screaming all the time. I can't believe we're recording. The dog's in here. You may hear the dog if the dog bothers us.
Sure.
But the dog's exhausted because little kids are chasing it around. There's stuff everywhere. I think that's the thing, like a time you enter into life where you're vacationing with other families is you have, or you have relatives stay with you with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we've stayed with them with our kids. And it's just suitcases, dirty laundry, kids screaming, exhaustion.
What do you think is more difficult? Other people staying in your home with their kids or you staying in somebody else's home with your kids?
Oh, definitely people staying in your home. I feel like.
Sure.
But I have a lot of problems. I mean, I'm like, everything's got to be clean. It's got, I'm not type A, but I'm fastidious like you, I think, in some regards, certainly in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And having things out of your control. Jenna and I got in a fight today about it because I'm allotting a certain amount of time to be with the family and she's got to work. So when she's at work, I'm in charge of like activities, but her relatives don't really make plans. Whereas the frustration for Jenna with my family is nobody has a plan and she'll make one. And then everybody just goes their separate way.
Sure.
That
can be frustrating.
I think that's a frustrating thing for the adults is other adults not adhering to or being interested in making plans.
Yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax.
Because the kids are fine, just like the kids would just sit here.
Yeah, the kids
They're
will
like,
just
I
do
love it. New
whatever.
toys.
They're young enough where they'll just kind of go with the flow, whatever that may be, right? But I was thinking, it's just the plan thing aside, it seems like it would be easier to have people in your home with their children, right? Because you're at your home base.
Yeah, you have your stuff.
But I think it's actually harder because you're trying to maintain your home. When you go to somebody else's home with your kids, you're just like, shit, I don't know. Try not to break anything too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of mustard's this?
Yeah, exactly. You're just kind of like, they're kind of having to host you.
The bigger thing, I think maybe when they get older, it'll be easier. Certainly it will. But they've got a 2-year-old and like a 7-8-year-old.
Sure.
I've got a 4-year-old and a barely turned 7-year-old. So none of them are like super playing together.
Yeah.
There's some parallel play, but inevitably when they all get together, somebody bullies somebody or tattletales or screams or has a meltdown or falls or they hit me. It's not like, yeah, we're all, 9. We're doing 9-year-old stuff.
This is really on Jenna. Her and her sister should have coordinated
pregnancy packs.
Yeah. Like
That's what they got to do.
Get it together.
It is her fault because she made us wait. She was like, "Oh, we can't announce our engagement till my sister's wedding's over.
Sure,
we can't this until they." And I'm like, "Well, look at it now.
Until she gives birth.
Look at it now.
Yeah,
now it's all screwy."
Well, your house was very calm when I came in, surprisingly enough.
Well, I sedated all these kids.
Oh, okay, well, good. It worked. Give them all Benadryl before I got here.
It was cool to be like cool uncle at the beach because I was like, oh, I'm digging holes. I'm catching sand crabs.
Sure.
I was doing that kind of stuff. So that I at least had that where I wasn't like too effem, where I was like, I'm fun at the beach.
Yeah, you could represent that way. They'll remember you as the uncle that lives near the beach.
Yeah, but when it comes to like, you want to play catch? I go, no.
I'm out.
Miss me with that shit, fool. What'd you do for Easter growing up, John?
What did I do for Easter growing up? My family would always have Easter parties. The whole family would get together.
Now, these were pagan rituals?
Pagan, absolutely. Some members of the family would go to church that morning. Not my family. But some members of our family
Lord, no.
would go to church in the morning, and then we'd get together for big old Easter family get-together with lots of fun festivities. We would do egg races where you have an egg on a spoon and you run across the yard.
Yeah. I saw that on America's Funniest Home Videos. Yeah. We weren't allowed to do that. What else?
We would do that. We would do gunny sack races.
Gunny sack? Now that sounds racist. What is that?
How about potato sack races?
Oh, okay. Why do they call them gunny?
I don't know. Let's look it up. Easter egg hunt. Got to do an Easter egg hunt.
Yep, I've read about those.
Yeah. And lots of food, lots of family. These were my routines growing up. I don't do these things anymore. My family is kind of dispersed, different parts of the country now, a lot of them.
Very sad.
It is. But yeah, growing up, that's what it was. How about you? What did you do for Easter growing up?
Well, as you know, Christ was crucified.
Oh, Jesus.
In Rome, in Jerusalem, that was occupied by the Romans, and as the prophecy foretold, he was hung on a cross, and he was tortured, and Pontius Pilate said, "That's it." So he died for our sins, and on the third day he rose again, and that was the story I learned as a wee boy, and we would go celebrate Christ's birth or his resurrection.
How old were you when you think you learned that story?
Probably 6-7 months. I
mean, this is a core memory.
Well, the core memory was for me was they would do these Easter passion plays. Now these were where they would have somebody. Now we went to pretty trashy apostolic religious cult, and by trashy I just mean people were pretty poor, and so we'd go to the rich church where they had a budget for these plays.
On the holiday.
And they would have these, some actor coming down, and they would be covered in blood, and they'd be getting whipped down the aisle. So I'd be a little kid, and they'd have somebody getting whipped, screaming down the aisles, covered in blood. They'd place a crown on them and have kind of gel blood drip all over. They'd have the Romans booing them, booing Christ as he dragged the cross.
You're not making this up.
I'm not making this up. There's home video that I have of my dad filming these plays, and I mean they were fucking scary, John. They'd have the light. They'd have special effects. There'd be lightning, and Christ would be going, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" And there'd be a big crash of lightning. And, that meant God was there. And all the Jews and the Romans were screaming as the storm came and Christ died. And then they dragged him down, and wrapped him in the cloth and everything like that. And then the tomb, the whole bit. And so I'm watching this just horrified. Anyways, that's how I celebrated Easter.
Never have I been happier that I was not raised religiously.
Well, it's not too late to raise your kids religiously.
Yes, it is.
Passion of the Christ, anybody?
I think if you held a gun to my kids' heads, I don't know if they could tell you what Easter is. Like
well, I don't know if I can tell you either. Like the actual pagan origins of it, as I understand most things of Christianity, it's like, oh yeah, it started with the pagans, and the Catholics killed everybody, and they made their own version of it, like Santa Claus, kind of.
No, I meant though our traditional understanding of what Easter is now.
Christ.
The Christian.
Well, you and your wife take a little vacation. You let us babysit them, and I'll indoctrinate them on all things Christianity.
I think they're old enough where I'd actually be okay with it, because I think they would just push back so hard. It'd be great.
They would ask all the questions of a very intelligent, college-educated atheist.
You would be.
I'd be Charlie Kirk, dude. I'd be like, change my mind, and then they would.
They would. I'd come to pick them up, and you'd be like, I'm giving it up. I'm all done.
I go, yep, I got this Christopher Hitchens book your son gave me. Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
They'll start talking to you about Sam Harris.
Yeah.
That is intense. So did you guys have,
whatever it is, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you have a party, a get-together,
no.
an Easter egg hunt?
No.
Easter baskets?
No.
You didn't have Easter baskets?
No.
Why not?
Because that would mean that we subscribed to the idea of procreation for the sake of a pagan god with a little g, which would be the Easter Bunny, that the occult and left-wing mainstream media was trying to distract us from the real meaning of Easter, just like Santa Claus has taken away the real meaning of Christmas.
You sound like you're in
the
QAnon
Easter
right
Bunny.
Now.
This is how I grew up. It was like Easter Bunny, boo.
How do you not hold on to more resentment for your parents? I would be so mad at my parents if they pulled this shit on me.
Well, I don't know. I just don't.
That's good. That's very big of you.
I think I feel grateful that, I get to celebrate it now with my kids.
Sure.
And I get to live vicariously through that.
Because you do all the stuff now.
Well, we do all this stuff because of my lovely wife, who's the event planner.
Do you think...
If she wasn't around... God forbid something happens to her, we're going back to basics.
You're just no Easter baskets.
I gotta go, shit, it's Easter. What weird churches around here I can take you guys to a passion play? And they'll say, will we get candy? I go, not in my town.
There's probably a megachurch in Orange County you could go to.
I think Orange County is mostly megachurches.
Sure.
From as I understand it.
Yeah, primarily. Yeah. That's what most of the real
estate
is. But
this year I think we're going to do an Easter egg hunt. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. And maybe I'll throw in... somebody running through here dragging a cross covered in blood for funds.
For funds?
See what they go, what's that? And I go, well, let me take a seat. Let me tell you a little tale, a little yarn.
Do your kids still believe in the Easter Bunny?
They barely believe in the Easter. Well, okay. Henry does. Henry believes in anything. Henry probably believes in QAnon for all I know. But, Maggie does. She's got a little bit of time because she's got some kids at school who are starting to say, there is no Easter
She's at
Bunny.
That age, yeah.
Yeah, and I go, who's this bitch? What'd she say? I'll beat her ass.
That's the right move.
Kind of that thing.
I feel like, around first grade, second grade, they start kind of questioning these things.
Yeah. I hate that they come to you about it, though.
Who would you rather they went to?
I don't know. The state.
That's their teachers?
Yeah, that's the teachers. That's what I say. She goes, why do you sleep all the time? I go, ask your teachers. Get off my back,
The Easter Bunny is kind of a second-rate holiday character, right? I mean, I feel like Santa's top of the heap, right?
Where's St. Patty, though? The leprechaun.
The leprechauns? You know what? I'm curious what you think about this. I think leprechauns have made a big comeback. I think leprechauns now, more popular than when I was a kid.
Why?
All the kids... They're doing like these leprechaun traps every year.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything about that.
No, yeah,
I haven't done that.
Yeah, maybe that's our crew. Well,
there was like the Elf on a Shelf was something I'd never heard about until recently.
I think that's become more popular over the years. But I feel like Santa Claus is top of the heap, right?
Sure.
What about Tooth Fairy? Where do you land on Tooth Fairy?
Well, I've never. There's not. You know what I'd like about the Tooth Fairy? It would be a definitive image of the Tooth Fairy.
I think of Tinkerbell.
Santa Claus, yeah, sure. Yeah. But if there was just if we all agreed, a portrait of Christ It looks about right.
Sure.
There's variations.
White guy had long hair.
Well,
in the Middle East.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Back then.
Just like the Egyptians in those textbooks. But there's a general Santa. Certainly there's black Santas, but
another white
for
guy.
us whites.
I'm sensing a pattern with you.
But there's just a general image. There's a general image of a leprechaun, be it costume, right?
Yeah,
Let's
I think
talk
it's
costume.
the guy from Lucky Charms.
But the Tooth Fairy, there's no like, well, she looks like, Sleeping Beauty. Well, she looks like Tinkerbell. There's not the picture. So
why does it have to be a woman?
The Tooth Fairy? Well, it's that or a gay guy, we all could say. I mean,
it could be a hetero dude. Why not?
A hetero dude, straight guy is the Tooth Fairy. I think that was a movie with The Rock, actually.
I think so too.
We should fact check that.
I don't know why you're gendering fairies.
I think fairies are generally women. If you look at the books,
I don't know, but I
haven't seen somebody. I mean, well, they're making more, so somebody's fucking those fairies.
I mean, they have to procreate somehow.
So who is it? Peter Pan?
That makes sense. I'll buy that. I've always thought of the Tooth Fairy as Tinkerbell is basically the representation in my head.
I pictured her more like the fairy in Pinocchio, the Disney Pinocchio.
See, we do need to get on the same page. You're right.
Yeah,
you have a point.
Right? Yeah, I think it's a matter of national security.
All right, and then we got the Easter Bunny, right? Any other seasonal holiday characters in the mix?
We
here?
need one for 4th of July, that's for sure.
Sure. Well, Uncle Sam, right? I guess.
Oh yeah, there's him.
Yeah.
Soon to be replaced by Pete Hegseth. Uncle Haggy.
Halloween. What do we have?
David S. Pumpkins.
That.
You know what? There really was
so
none
great.
until David S. Pumpkins, the Tom Hanks character in the Saturday Night Live sketch.
Sure. I think there was, some people might argue Jack Skellington, right?
Yeah.
From Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
But my vote goes to David S. Pumpkins.
What I don't understand, and this goes to corporate America, is Coca-Cola kind of co-opted and brought more into the public consciousness through their capitalism, the imagery of Santa Claus.
Yes.
A lot of that is like
the red and white
the
coloring.
red, that's our idea of it. I don't know why other companies haven't leaned into a leprechaun. I mean, Lucky Charms did, I guess, where it's ubiquitous,
sure.
Where there's a ubiquitous holiday character that some company, some brand, some product rolls out, their seasonal style marketing that becomes something that is one in the other to what that holiday is, which I think we could do St. Patty. We could do some kind of Halloween kind of thing. I don't know why we're not monetizing MLK Day, Martin Luther King, or Juneteenth.
Sure.
Some of these new ones, international, Gay Pride, that we just have a character.
Sure.
For Gay Pride, it's like we have Richard Simmons and he's on every Sprite can.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I do. Colgate should try to take over the Tooth Fairy or something, right?
Truly.
You get their coloring and branding.
I don't know why we're not getting this is free.
Why aren't we working in marketing somewhere?
Why aren't we? This is not even a podcast anymore, John. It's the fucking greatest think tank in commercial history.
We're a
right
brain
now.
trust. The fuck is
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
I want to talk to you about thieving.
Thieving or thieving?
Thieving.
Got it.
My friend thieving. Have your kids stolen shit? Because Henry's in a thieving phase.
You know what?
And I used to be a real thief.
You have mentioned this to me off mic before, and I've been racking my brain. I don't think I really don't want to come off holier than thou from you. I don't think my kids have had a thieving or a thieving phase.
This whole show is about you being holier than thou. And thou with everybody.
Okay, well then I will be. Yeah, no, my kids have standards and morals and ethics, and they have never stolen a thing.
My Christian son is out here breaking the commandments.
Let's hear it. What's your son been up to?
Well, they do an after-school program, and they feed them what Henry calls supper, which I haven't heard that word
supper
since the South. Y'all stand for supper? And he'll be like, we had supper. And then he'll come out, he'll go, So he goes to school till 1:00. Then they have this after school program through the Y.
Okay.
And he comes out the gate. I got to sign him out. And as soon as he walks out, he goes, "Dad, look what I got." And he'll throw his backpack down and open it up. And he'll have, the other day he had 15 cheese sticks.
Why?
He just takes them from the fridge.
Okay.
And then he takes them from the kids that don't want to eat it. So then he's collecting them.
Sure.
And he'll say this right in front of one of the coaches. And I go, "Did you say Henry could have those?" And they'll go, "No."
Yeah.
And I go, "Henry, why did you take those?" And he'll be like, "I don't know. I wanted to eat them." And I go, "Well, they've been in your bag for 6 hours.
Yeah, now they're trash.
And now they're garbage."
So not only is he stealing, but he's bad at it.
He's bad. Well, he's not totally. I think he's bad at it because he's showing me the loot before he's left the parking lot of the bank that he robbed.
Yeah.
But he's pretty good at home because he'll go like, "Oh, I like this rock you have, and I'll be like, "Yeah, that's from my dad that died. My dad collected rocks. He gave me that rock." And he'll go, "Can I have it?" And I go, "No, Henry, you're gonna lose it." And he goes, "But I want it." And I go, "No." And then he'll discreetly put it in his pocket.
Sure.
And I see him, and then I look, and he sees me see him, and then he'll go, "Who's in that picture? Is that a train?" And I go, "Give me the rock back." And then he'll go, "Oh, I gotta go poop." And then he'll just kind of fake dashing out of the room. Yeah. And then I'll go, "Where is it?" And he'll go, "Where's what?" And he's 4 years old, and I'm like, "Oh, he's getting pretty good at the manipulation." But I've seen him do it at kids' houses. They'll have a birthday party, and he'll be playing with some Hot Wheels or something. I go, "Okay, it's time to go." And he'll go, "Can I have this?" And I go, "No, it's not yours. It belongs to the kid who lives here." And he goes, "But I want it." And I say, "No." And then I'll see him put it in his pocket, and I go, "Give me that." And he goes, "Levi said I could have it." And I go, "No, he didn't. Yeah. I've been watching you a second ago. We've been in the same place. Yeah, you did not leave this space."
This explanation might work on anybody but me.
I mean, I'm standing here. I just said, "Give it to me." And then you put it. It's like a Marx Brothers scene,
Well, where do you think he's getting this? Do you think this is a nature or nurture situation? Because you were a little klepto when you were a kid.
But I was stealing at like 10, 11, 12.
So do you think it's thieving's in his blood? Or do you think he picked it up from another kid? Some ne'er-do-well that he saw.
My dad was a bank robber. I was a bank robber. My grandpa Paul was a bank robber. I won't no be a bank robber myself, and so is my kin. It might be in his blood.
Yeah?
It might be in his blood.
Because, I mean, this begs repeating, you liked to steal when you were a child.
I did, and I had an unclean heart too. And I took him to the Queen Mary last night, and there's a ballerina convention, some kind of celebration for.
Wait, what? We just jumped a lot of.
What I'm trying to say, nature versus nurture, is we have these cousins in town, and they wanted to go on the Queen Mary. These little kids, so we did with my sister-in-law, and we're running around it, and there was this ballerina. I don't know if it was a convention. It was like some kind of ballroom, celebration for all these like high school ballerinas. So they see.
Boy, that sounds like a real hoot.
Well, Henry went up, and of course, at the risk of sounding like a sex offender, obviously these, young women are all very beautiful, and they have their makeup on and the ballerina skirts.
How old were they?
Well, Henry, they were young. But I say that to say my son locked onto these young ladies.
Oh, yeah.
He ran right up, put his head up to this window, and he starts waving at them and knocking on the glass. And, of course, he looks all cute with his little sailor cap on.
Sure.
But I said, this boy is driven by the flesh.
Just as his father was.
Driven by the thieving like his father. Driven by sin like his father. He's a difficult child like his father. He can't focus like his father.
When you were, what did you steal when you were a kid? What were you stealing?
I stole.
Yeah.
I mean, I was stealing money. I was stealing from relatives. I was stealing CDs from Sam Goody.
Those were hard to steal because they had lots of security.
I got pretty good at the shoplifting. Now, I wasn't as bad as I stopped around 10, 11.
Sure.
But I do remember hearing in high school. Now, I don't know if you had kids like this. I would hear about kids, rich kids. When I went to public school in high school, and one year I went to Mona Shores, which was the richer school in Muskegon, in Norton Shores. And I lived in the poor neighborhood, and it was when School of Choice started, and some kid would give me a ride way, way far away from where he lived. He was such a nice kid. Mike Numerador, shout out. Took me to a lot of concerts.
Good. Get his name out there.
Mike Numerador and we were pretty well-rounded kids, friends with everybody. And there was this group of these richer kids in high school, and we heard like, oh, they went to juvie,
Yeah.
And what they were doing was breaking into people's houses.
Oh.
And stealing all kinds of stuff.
These were rich kids,
and these
breaking
were
into
rich kids
houses.
doing like B&Es, breaking and entering.
Wow.
And I remember they got caught famously in my town by going to the Meyer grocery store, which was kind of a big box, local store. The Meyer family, some of them are now congressmen and or state senators in Michigan, and bringing a big shopping cart full of change, jars of change. Coinstar?
Yeah.
So they busted into this house, stole what they could, and then also stole all the change.
This house happened to have a lot of change in it.
So apparently one of the managers at the Meyer was like, that's a suspicious amount of change.
Why do these 7 teenagers have this much change on them?
Carts of change that they stole. I don't know. I kind of stopped. I'd steal money from my parents, steal money from my grandma. And what was stupid about it was I was putting it all in my like little clear piggy bank. So
I was gonna say
I think at some point I wonder if they knew what I was doing and were just kind of like, it'll pass, and it did.
Yeah, because it's like, what are you gonna do with it when you're young and you steal? It's like you can't hide it.
I think I was like saving it to go to Disney World or something. Yeah. Like we were going to Disney World, and I was like, well, I'm gonna want spending money, or I'm gonna want to get a 9 Inch Nails shirt to wear, and they were like, you can't wear that.
Oh man, definitely not your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was young, I was always too nervous to steal, but I was friends with one of my neighbor friends was a real bad boy. Yeah. And do you remember Micro Machines?
Yeah, sure.
Cars? Yeah. So we'd go to the store, and we go down an aisle, and I would be the lookout.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I would stand at the end of the aisle, and I would look out, and he'd say, okay, tell me if anybody's coming. And then he would open up the packages and take all the Micro Machines out. And then he'd
take them out of the package.
Yeah, because there was like security things in them,
Oh, they had that back then? I didn't remember that till I was an adult.
Micro Machines were a high-ticket item.
So, did they come in multi-packs, or was it like one?
It was a multi-pack, and they had like these little security things on them. You had to kind of break them off.
Wow.
And he'd put them in his pocket, and then he'd split them with me.
Did you have a signal if somebody was coming, or would you just be like, somebody's coming? Or would you be like, achoo?
I don't think we worked out a good system.
Yeah.
I probably just would have been like, caw, caw.
Did you guys have floor walkers? Do you remember hearing about those? I know you know about wall walking.
Wasn't that a Stephen King book? The floor walkers.
The floor walkers we had at our local JCPenney.
Okay.
And they were a floor walker. We had them in various places where there'd be a lot of theft. So they would hire these people who looked like they dressed as customers. And they'd float around and kind of see like, oh, these teenage girls are stealing earrings at Claire's or whatever.
Yeah.
But this was like, talk about the good old days. They could fuck you up.
Oh, yeah.
They would just assault you. I remember like...
lay hands on children.
Dude, strangers laying hands. I remember like one of the reasons I stopped shoplifting was hearing, I called it shoplifting. It's the Dutch call, shopliften. Because I'd hear like, oh, somebody... Because we'd try to steal cigarettes too. Like when I was a teenager, I didn't have a stealing phase then, but people, I did smoke. Smoking was... very cool. It still is. Kids, if you don't, start now. And we couldn't buy cigarettes. Like if so-and-so's older brother couldn't go get us a pack of Camel Lights, somebody'd use a fake ID and they'd be like, oh, don't go to that. The 7-Eleven got bought by, some Indian family, and they were real hardcore about ID and kids now, and they'll take your ID if it's fake. and they have a little, card box where they keep it. And some kid we were hanging out with who was a real roughneck, like jumped over the counter and stole the whole box of it, he could give them back to all the kids in the neighborhood who got there stolen, but would like jump up over the counter and grab the cigarettes.
Well, he was a hero. He got everybody's IDs back.
This kid talking about Robin Hood, but had heard also like a perfect stranger in town. One of the kids we knew went into the liquor store and tried to steal a bottle of vodka, and some old man laid this kid out.
Yeah.
Like he started running, and this guy just fucking busted him in the face. I don't think he really hurt him, but of course people were like, he broke his neck or whatever. And it was like, no, he didn't.
The old man, he was probably 37.
Yeah, he was. You son of a bitch.
And he probably like grabbed the kid, and the kid fell over. Yeah. It's like he broke his eye socket.
People were like, don't drive by there. They remember him. You remember how when we were growing up, like, I don't know if you had this, but at the local party store, wherever the liquor store would be, is like whoever worked there smoked. So they'd be outside smoking.
Yep.
So when you drive by, you'd be like, oh no, that girl's working. Or like, oh, that girl's cool. She'll sell to me. Oh, her boyfriend's there. And you see him hanging out, and he'd be like, yeah, let me see your ID. Tina, check his ID or whatever. You're like, we got to go to the other town. We got to go to Grand Haven, see if my friend's brother will go buy for us.
That's really funny. No, I had a very different experience with getting booze when I was younger.
Which was your house was full of it.
My house was full of booze.
Because your parents were drunks and they didn't care.
No, well, I mean, that's also true. Yes, and. No, it was, I got into kind of the punk rock scene when I was in high school, and there were always older people in the scene that were just, they were 22, 23 years old. They never left the town, and they would have houses, they'd rent some house, and there'd be these party houses, and they would just have all the booze you could possibly want.
Well, and I'm sure they were like having sex with minors.
Oh yeah, I think about that now, and I'm like, who were these people that were in their 20s?
Dude, they
hanging
were
out with freshmen and sophomores.
There were
in high
so
school.
many guys. I don't want to drag this into like child. It's not even child sex abuse. It's just like there were always guys in their 20s who were in the rock scene, in the local punk scene, who were like, "Oh, they're dating so and so. She's 16. He's 22."
Yep.
And nobody seems to care.
It was a different time, Brandon.
Yeah, but it wasn't the 70s. It was like the late 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, he's got a van,
We've come a long way.
So it's different.
It was a different time.
Your Honor.
We've come a long way.
The rules don't apply when you have a van for band gear. It's okay if you're 21 and
he's
she's
supporting
15.
the local scene.
Yeah, dude. These guys, talk about they got to go.
Yeah. I think they did.
They did.
They're all in jail for statutory.
I think a lot of them probably aren't, though. I think Me Too didn't trickle down low enough to the local punk rock scene of our small towns.
It's coming. It's coming.
Your days are numbered.
Yeah. Well, until then, I hope Henry grows out of his thieving phase.
Yeah, so he doesn't end up in a van down by the river, as it were.
Yeah. I think he's all right. I think it's probably. He's probably
fine.
Normal. Tell him to steal non-perishables at least.
Well, here's the thing, Johnny. He did, and he's starting to steal beads.
Beads?
He'll come home and he'll be like, Dad, look at all these beads I got.
Sure.
These are beads to make necklaces. He doesn't make necklaces. He just puts them in this little tackle box. I think he admires his beads.
It's the thrill. It's the thrill
of beads. Yeah. Part of the problem, though, is I brought it up and I kind of hoed him out in front of the teachers. And I was like, he's taking all these beads. And they go, we don't care. They're just beads. And I was like, well, that's not going to teach him a lesson.
Well, he's probably not going to steal them. And he's doing it for the rush, man.
Yeah, I guess it is.
And if they don't even care, he's going to start stealing something else.
Let him have it for now, I think.
Pretty soon, he's fucking taking their car. Like, I don't know what he's going to take next. Taking money from their purses.
There is some thrill to it, though. I think, here's what, I do miss the thrill. I miss there is a chemical rush that we should open kind of a sundry store. And we stock it with period 90s CDs, 90s cigarettes, a cooler full of Zimas.
Yeah, this is a time machine here.
And we get to cosplay. We have people our age in their 40s, 30s and 40s, and they come in as teens. And we kind of do a Stanford prison experiment of like you got to try to shoplift or give a fake ID and get out.
Sure.
And get enough cool shit for the party.
I think if you had a 90s throwback convenience store,
yeah.
it would be very popular.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, sure. Yeah.
You're like brown bagging it.
But you think about, what was the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio a couple years ago, or that was set with the Native American Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yes.
Well, the incredible production designer who also did Marty Supreme, I forget his name. He's married to Sissy Spacek. I heard an interview with him on Fresh Air, and he was talking about his research and how he found that like a lot of these bars at that time, when he would use these old buildings and shave them down and rip out the floors and start to redesign, that he found that like the barber shop was part of the bar.
Oh.
So there'd just be a divider where it'd be you go to the bar and then your barber shop's there. And if you'd ever seen the documentary on Prohibition by Ken Burns, a lot of the ways that alcoholism gripped the nation was not only that the companies got them drunk at work, like your family's familiar with working in a brewery, but when you got off work to cash your check, the only place it would do it would be the bar. And the bar was owned by the company.
Fucking
diabolical. So
diabolical.
these people would go and they'd get their paycheck on Friday, and then of course they'd cash it and they go, "You want to get a drink? Right here." And they'd say, "Well, take it out of my thing." And they go, "You want a haircut?" And by the time they got home, there was, nothing left.
God damn, that's horrible.
And that's why the women started showing up with hatchets. Hence Molly Hatchet. The historical figure who showed up and started hatcheting the bars.
Is that I'm not familiar with?
Yeah, you're familiar with the band Molly Hatchet?
Yeah. But
they got their name because
I didn't know
there
where
was
the
a
term
woman
came
named
from.
Molly. I forget her last name, and they were originally with Prohibition. The women were being so horrifically abused because the husbands were coming home so hammered with liquor and beer,
and half their paycheck,
half if any of it, and then the wives, of course, would be like, "You're drunk again. Where's the money?" And they'd be like, "Well, you shut up," and whatever.
Sure.
So they got so frustrated. And the companies were like, "Oh boy, we're in trouble." So they tried to do what a lot of corporations do, where they go, "Well, we'll reel it back a little bit. We'll just get rid of the liquor. We'll just stick it with beer." And these women, many of them who were went on to be suffragettes, would say, "Well, we're for ending all alcohol, abstaining total abstinence with a capital T," hence the term teetotaler.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they weren't listening, eventually as a protest, one of these women, Molly, came in and she went up to the liquor store / bar with a fucking axe and she just destroyed the place. And all these guys were like, and she just did it. And so these started to become popular protests.
Wow.
Hence Molly Hatchet.
We got all the way from your kid stealing string cheese to you explaining Molly Hatchet to me.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of ground.
As Jenna's dad says, it's more than a hat rack.
Let's take a break.
Boy, you know what I hate is summer vacations.
What a smooth transition.
You know what's after spring? Summer. More like bummer, because I hate it. Y'all ever try?
You're the worst. So we go out of town. We were talking about earlier what we did for Easter growing up. Now every year we go out of town for Easter. We kind of we go down south to some cottages at a beach here in Orange County, and we try to go every year. It's really fun, and we go there for a week. And my wife does all the planning every year.
Oh, okay.
And I try to help. I try to pitch in when I can. But I feel like she's really good at it. And I'm really bad at it compared to her.
At the planning. But you're so fastidious. If you would have asked me, I thought you took the lead on most of those things.
Yeah, you know what's funny is we were talking about it. So this is a point of contention with my wife and I. And we're working through it.
Very slowly.
But I feel like compared to everybody that I grew up with, my immediate and even extended family growing up, I am by far the most meticulous, detailed, organized, best at planning
In your family.
In my family.
Out of your parents.
Yeah, my parents, my aunts, my uncles, cousins, things like that, right?
Well, sure. I mean, I could tell you that just by looking at a picture of them.
Yeah. So, but you know what it feels like is, when they talk to athletes, college and professional athletes, or they go, yeah, everybody's that's in the game here, they were the best in their high school. Right?
Yeah.
They were really good in their own high school. Then they get to college and they go like, oh no, this is a different league that I'm playing in now. Now this is everybody who was the best in their high school. Now they got to
punch up.
Yeah. And then they get if they make it out of college sports and they get into professional sports, now it's even like, oh, well, these were all the best people from all the colleges. Now. So you're not king shit here anymore.
Yeah.
That's what it's like being married to my wife.
She's king shit.
Yeah. I am playing with pros. Like, I was the best in my high school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I am playing in a different game.
I
cannot compete with her. Like, her ability to be organized and plan things and be 10 steps ahead. I mean, I'm fucking playing checkers and she's playing chess.
Well, with my wife, because of the way I grew up, and in the way I was raised, like, I just thought life happened to you and you react to it.
Sure.
So my wife will plan sometimes years in advance.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go on this trip to Hawaii in 2028.
Yep.
I already booked the flights. I got this. Your sister's wedding was this, where then we're going to go here. My friend's birthday, she's planning years out. And I'm just going like, people do this?
Deer in headlights.
People, I mean, it's like how you read about a Hollywood studio planning the production slate.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're doing Star Wars Return of the Fuck Sticks in 2035.
Let's get out the binder with what's coming up for
like,
the next,
we're doing this. We already bought the rights. We're developing this, and that's going to go. She's doing that, and I'm just kind of like, whoa, like the idea that you can plan a life or
that
plan events.
Yeah.
Period. It's almost like a child learning about time.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, you mean you can manipulate events if you plan?
If you plan this far.
And
I get it. I mean, like I said, I feel I'm pretty good at some of these things, but we have so back to my point a little bit was, we're about to go on, a week-long trip over Easter, over spring break. She's already planning for the next. I'm like, we haven't even done this one yet.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And she's planning for summer ones. And so she already made all these plans and she sends me things and then she'll say, like, I need feedback. It feels like such a mental burden where I'm like, I can't wrap my head around the next vacation when we have another one coming up. And then should we start planning the one after that now too? Like, when does this end, Brandon? Yeah. I can't.
But the idea though is if she doesn't do it, you're not.
Exactly, and that's
and
what
you're all
going
to rot in your house just eating a big chicken pot pie.
This is her point exactly.
My wife and I got into a real fight a while ago, and it was about planning.
Okay.
And one of the things that really bothers her about me is that she'll do some planning, and then she'll be like, "And we're doing this and this," and I just go, "Okay," and then right before the thing happens, your boy goes, "Oh, you're planning on your mom me driving down to your mom's with the kids on a Sunday, and then your dad's doing this, but your sister wants to." That doesn't make sense. Why don't you guys? I'll pick up the food,
sure,
and I'll do it. And then she gets so fucking mad, and so we got to the bottom of it. And what she told me was, it bothers her that I have not helped, and then I'm offering critique and criticism and suggestions that were not asked for. So. This, I think, is a learning moment for us, John, because what my wife said they do at the hospital is when you hear somebody explain what a plan is, you say, are you looking for me to just affirm your choices, or are you interested in feedback?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they say, I just want you to hear the plan that I've made.
Sure.
I don't want feedback. Or they'll say, I'm looking for feedback on this. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to get into the practice of when my wife tells me what some kind of plan is, I'll say, are you interested in feedback? And she'll go, no. Or she'll go, yeah.
Yeah.
And like even this thing with their sister visiting the kids, like there's a lot of plans going on. There's a lot of plans that have gone, or there's some plans that have gone haywire. And there's some that I've just been like, okay, I'm not going to offer any input because you guys don't want it, and that's fine.
We're past the feedback phase at this point, right?
But then I can go, okay, on Friday, you guys, are you interested in feedback on what your guys' plan is, or did you want me to make a plan? And then they can decide.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a good note for sure. I think what I have to get better at is wrapping my head around planning much further out than I'm comfortable with, right? I'm okay with planning in the next 1 to 2 months, I think, a lot of times. And then I think it's harder for me to wrap my head around planning many months or years in advance, certain vacations.
Is she buying tickets for stuff, or is it just like she's writing on a calendar, like we drive to this national park?
No, she makes reservations and does purchases. I mean, she's, like I said, she's a professional, and it really is a compliment where I mean, I am kind of in awe that she's able to carry this stuff in her head that far ahead. I am not. It's very hard for me to think that far ahead.
Women carry more in their head than men generally.
Yeah.
I think they do. Like, women just have to carry more. They carry more weight, more anxiety, more fear, you know, of just like, I'm going to be sexually assaulted.
Sure.
You know, at any given point. Like, my wife, when I told her one time, like, oh, I felt uncomfortable around, you know, this guy who was, you know, being flirty with me, who was kind of gross. She was like, oh, yeah, that's me all the time with men. Mm-hmm. And that's women all the time with men.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Great.
It's like how, like, with everything that was going on with ICE and the people getting shot and killed in Minnesota who were protesting. Mm-hmm. And I was like talking to my sister about it. Who's married to a black man, and I was like, oh man, it's like getting unsafe out there, like it's kind of wild. And I was like, I kind of feel like unsafe. And she was like, yeah, your brother-in-law, my husband, was like, this is what it's like all the time for a black person in America. It's just like, I have to carry all this, and I feel like, not to drag the privileged vacation thing, but it's women just hold all these plans because nobody else is going to do it, because we are, I think, I try to not feel like we're the men in commercials. You know how when we were growing up in the 90s, every commercial with a guy, if it was like a women-driven product, it'd be like the men would be like, I'm a fucking caveman. What's this, yogurt? Is it fucking gay?
I always think of remember the commercial where it was a guy, you know, wandering around a supermarket and he didn't know what to do. And I think it was a Carl's Jr. commercial or something, right?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, just go to Carl's Jr. Dude,
my friend Sarah Haskins, who's a great television writer, when she first moved out to LA, she had this segment on current TV called Target Women, and it critiqued all of the female-driven commercials. Mm-hmm. And she had this incredible piece. I should find it, link it in the show notes, of like dumb men in commercials over the years, and just the way, I mean, obviously she's a feminist, but it was an incredible piece of like how because they were trying to manipulate women in advertising to be the one to buy the products, but that's because typically women are in charge of the household, you know, and are in charge of the plans and in charge of who's buying what kind of laundry detergent and tampons and sheets and dryer sheets and all the things for the house. And the guys are just like, football, you know. We're not those guys, but I do think there's a huge gap. But I'll just go to my wife when she's making all those plans, and I'll do you know, do you want any input? And then a little trick is I'll say, how can I be supportive of you in this endeavor? You know, and then she'll be like,
get some good therapy.
Well, then she'll be like, well, you could go pick up, you know, the chicken tenders from the chicken tender place and get the dry cleaner, and then get my mom at the airport. And I'll be like, fuck. Okay, we'll do.
Yeah. Sorry I asked.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot to unpack there. I did hate all of those very stereotypical, the guy's a doofus commercials and advertising. But I do think there are some kernels of truth in some of that, where I just think my wife is inherently better at a number of things than I am. Yeah. Right? It's like the planning thing. It's not that I don't want to. It's like, no, I'm just not as good at it, right? I'm not as good at thinking about the things this far ahead. I'm not as good at making those plans or even thinking about doing those things, right? It just doesn't come naturally. And so it is tough sometimes where you're trying to share kind of these domestic duties across the family, right? Where you're like, oh, we're equals. We share all these things together.
No, we're not, but yeah.
But when somebody is clearly better than somebody else at certain things, I think it's hard, right? And I think it can cause, some arguments and a little bit of tension.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure it bothers my wife like crazy because I'm like a no person. I'm the Republican Party of our house, which is she's like the Democrat who's like, yes, I'm going to build this infrastructure to save, to bring up people out of poverty or whatever. But it's like, I'm going to create this trip. Yeah. And then I come in as a stone cold rhino.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't want to do that. No. I don't want to drive to Tahoe. Let's fly into Reno. And she's like, the bill's passed. Yeah. It passed the House and the Senate. It's being signed into law, and now you want to change it. You're like, you want to change, or I'll earmark it with my own little, sub thing. We're like, well, we're driving by there. We can just stop at this outdoor water park, It's tough. And the bottom line is she hates me.
That's what we were getting at this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about your wife hates me.
My wife does hate you.
She does hate me, and for good reason.
Brandon, we're back with the infamous Gotta Go section.
John Ahern music. We're back with Casey Kasem.
So I was just inside your house chatting with your wife.
Oh, great.
And after you left and I was chatting with her for a second, she's explaining to her sister, she says, John and I are actually a lot alike, which explains
why we both hate my husband.
Why Brandon likes both of us. Oh. Right? But then she said, but your wife is nothing like Brandon, so why are you friends with him?
I got to wrap my head around that.
Yeah, she's smart.
I
think it was a backhanded way of saying, why are you friends with my husband?
Yeah. I don't know why you're friends with me. I feel like I mostly bother you.
Yeah, but I like that.
Mostly feel like a total inconvenience. The way that you were talking about your wife planning and like how annoying we are to our wives, like I feel like I'm that annoying to you. Every time you come over, I'm late. There's something, I'll blame it on something. I literally texted you, I said, I'm running behind blah, 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 because that's what I know at a certain point I sound like to you. I was like, I'm not even going to make up a thing. I'm just like, I'm behind.
Brandon, I've known you for over 20 years. We just talked about this off mic, that we just missed our 20-year anniversary. By a couple of years, we missed it, by the way.
We really should do something. Yeah. You know what we need to do? Very inside baseball. We need to contact the owner of the cafe that we met at.
Sure.
And we need to go up to Santa Barbara and see if he'll take us to dinner.
It's an antique store now, I think.
Is it?
I don't think it's...
The last time I was there, it was a coffee shop. And
it's changed hands a couple times.
It changed hands, dude. Yeah. And I drove up through there and I walked around and I was like, they still got this glass case for pastries, huh? I used to work here. And they were like, yeah, okay, Unc.
Get
like,
here,
nobody cares. They weren't like, oh, what was it like? And I was like, well, I was actually, believe it or not, debating if I should enlist to fight in the first Iraq War.
It's so funny. They could probably give two shits that we worked
they
there.
did. It reminded me of my dad. He did mechanical engineering, and he would some of his projects would be like the cooler cases and coolant things for Starbucks. So whenever we travel, he'd like ask the person behind the counter like how a part was working. He'd be like, "Are you getting a good reflux on the capacitor there for the mining such and such model?" And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Look at that divot, huh?" Yeah. And they're like,
"That was me.
That was me." That's what I felt.
They're just confused. Okay. But back to our Gotta Go section.
20 years.
I'll go first this time. As we've mentioned.
Wait. There's one other thing about our 20 years together.
Okay, let's hear it.
Which was conspiracy theories. Do you remember people coming to that cafe and talking about chemtrails?
Yes.
There's a couple people who'd be like, yeah, the chemtrails out
I didn't even know what they were back then. I mean, obviously it's
now a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Like regular people.
I didn't even, because
are all over the internet. They're sending me chemtrail shit.
Yeah.
Along with the Benjamin Netanyahu's dead, and it's a CGI AI video.
Here we go. Back to the conspiracy
I'm just
days.
telling you. I'm just saying.
Okay.
A lot of people are thinking something's going on. Somebody should look into it. They got to go.
They got to go. As we mentioned already, it is spring has sprung here. And guess what season it is? It's mosquito season. It's back.
No.
They're fucking back.
I forgot about them.
And I will say, this is mosquitoes. That's too easy. Of course, they got to go. Here's what's got to go.
Mosquitoes, you're ugly.
Yeah, and you're the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
Here's my got to go. I feel like mosquito season never even ended this past time. It was fucking year round here in Southern California.
Oh.
Normally, it's, you get into the spring, the summer, right? You get to different times of year. Fucking fall, winter. It has never ended.
It's expanding, and I can verify that from speaking to my exterminator,
who
who
got
said
some
that.
science behind this.
Well, not exactly, but the exterminator. He kind of is John Goodman in Arachnophobia.
Oh, nice.
Except he's skinnier and his pants are kind of falling down, so he's got like his tool belt thing.
Sure,
dude, this guy's a fucking character. We
got him on the mic.
We gotta get this guy out. We gotta get this guy out.
Okay.
He's so wacky. And one time I let him use our bathroom, and now he would come in all the time, and my father-in-law was like, "Yeah, he has to come in and take a dump." I said no. I was like, well, I let him one time. But anyways, he told me that the mosquito season used to be like, it would basically end at the end of September, and it'd start back up in May. And he was like, now it ends end of November. Starts in March.
You ask me, it ends never. I feel, at least in our house, it fucking never stopped.
We're getting these super mosquitoes from China. I don't know if you know about this. That's what they're tinier.
Yeah.
They can bite through clothes.
And they stay low.
And they stay low, so they're getting your cankles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
these are mean.
Bullshit. So that's my gotta go year-round mosquito season. I have no practical advice for this other than just I'm yelling to the stars. Year-round mosquito season, it's got to go.
Yeah, we got to get in there. We got to take them down. Somebody's got to do something. They got to go. It is also biologically related, which is biohacking. Okay. Now, your boy like to spend some special time on his face. I like to look good. I like to feel good. But my body's not doing so great. And so I'm getting back into the fitness. And I went to the YMCA, and I got part of this e-gym. And it's based...
For those of you who are just listening, Brandon is showing what looks like a Fitbit to the camera.
I think it also kind of looks like a What Would Jesus Do bracelet from when I was a kid. But it's some kind of Fitbit type thing. And I would do... I sign up for this special thing called the e-gym at the Y. And it's basically a Nautilus circuit. But it's all... Because I'm so prone to injury. And I'm dumb... that I was like, I'll do this because it gets your height and weight, and then it gives you this kind of circuit that you kind of scan, beep, beep, and it's like, hello, Brandon.
Sure.
Are you ready to lift some weights very lightly?
It probably gives you some structure, which is nice.
Totally.
Yeah.
And also, they kind of gamify it. So it's like you pull the weight down and you're looking at the screen, and it's like you're moving a ball through a tunnel or whatever.
Sure.
Which is kind of annoying, but after doing it a little bit, I was like, oh, this is helpful, because otherwise I won't pay attention because of my ADHD.
It doesn't seem infantilizing. Doesn't make you...
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
And I look around, and everybody on that circuit is old people.
Okay.
And I asked the younger guy who was doing it, who was like giving me, you can't just sign up and do it. You got to do this whole training, know.
Sure.
And so I did that, and I was like, it's just old people, right? And he goes, oh, there's a couple of younger people. I go, yeah. But it's mostly old people. He goes, yeah. I go, how annoying is it that you have to train all these old people, because all of this is digital and it's screens, and old people don't know how to do screens. He goes, yeah, most of it is I'm just like helping them out. And they set up this new desk area for him. I go, so you went from being like the trainer here to like tech support for the elderly.
He's like an AV guy now.
Yeah, he's like, I kind of hate it. But at the end of all this training and practice and like weighing, they give me, and they do these tests where it's like, how can you lift this? Can you lift that? Can you push this? Can you stretch this way? And I'm doing this in front of a computer screen and a camera live. So it's like fucking Tron, it's very that. And at the very end, it gives my age and then my bio age. You know what's got to go, John?
What's that?
My bio age. I'm 66 years old. I'm fucking 66. I'm not making this up.
Oh my God.
I'll put it on the Instagram for the show.
Bring the
I'll put it
pictures.
On.
We need some pictures.
Proof or it didn't happen. I'll put it on our Atlas and They're Fine on Instagram. If you don't follow us, do it, because I'm going to start putting some other content we reference here for the show purposes. I'm fucking 66. And I told my wife that, and Maggie overheard it, and she literally thinks I'm 66. So now she, I don't know if your kids do this, she correlates the older you get, the stronger.
Sure.
So she goes, do you think when you're 67 you can lift up this box? Do you think when you're 69 you can do this? And I'm just like,
she doesn't understand it's a curve and you're going to start going down the other side.
I'm totally shrinking.
Man.
Dude, sad.
66?
66, you boy. I would have been like, I'm 55 tops.
Well, yeah, it's got to go.
It's got to go.
Yeah.
I went from being unk to like old Chinese grandfather, which frankly, old Chinese guys are fucking incredibly limber. You see these guys doing Tai Chi.
Maybe that's what it's referring to. It thinks you're really flexible.
No, it would say wise. I should have said that. Is there one for wisdom? You know?
This poor guy at the Y was just like, dude, I don't know.
Dude, he was not digging on my jokes at all.
Dude, he's heard it all.
He's heard it all.
Yeah.
He heard it all so much that I said, have you ever heard this one? He goes, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think my second gotta go plays into yours a little bit here. I am so fucking sick of every item in my house needing to be connected to Wi-Fi.
Ooh.
And needing an app in order for me to even use the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Our refrigerator. We needed a new refrigerator about a year ago. We purposefully bought the dumbest one we could find at Costco, right?
Yeah.
Where we wanted a nice fridge, but they all have screens now. They all do all these things.
Yeah.
Even the dumb one that we got still wants you to connect to Wi-Fi, fucking Bluetooth with it. You know, we need to change the water filter in this stupid thing now. It's like, I'm like, what filter does it need? Oh, connect me to Wi-Fi, and then you can download the app, and then I'll tell you which filter model you need. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, I was like, I buy a lot of sprays to like make the room smell nice. And when I was at Target, I was like, oh, cool, they have these like diffusers. They're called smart diffusers.
Yep.
And it's like download, and I was like, a fucking air freshener?
Yeah.
We're doing this now? Let's stop being smart. All of it. Smart TV, smart refrigerator. Nope.
I am known for liking gear, as you know.
Yeah.
And as my wife definitely knows. I do like gear. I do like technology.
Yeah.
But we've gone off the deep end here. We've gone off the deep end. We need to dial it back here.
Do you think it's so they can monitor everything? And by they, I mean the deep state elite, as the conspiracy theorists would call them?
No, I'm less conspiracy theorist than you. I think it's all driven by money, because the way these companies have learned how to make money is not just the sale up front, but everything's a subscription model.
Ooh, I heard that. Yeah,
want everything to be a service, right? Not just buy my product, but buy our service, because then there's a recurring revenue stream.
Yeah. I heard one of the Sam Altman or those guys talking about like, oh yeah, you're going to buy knowledge from us. You have to buy intelligence. That's what their plan is.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Everything is going to be a recurring model. You know, your air fryer, you're going to have to pay a monthly subscription for to use, the fancy features on it or something.
Do you think there's just going to be, this is what the revolution will be? It won't be about necessarily like capitalism and, killing all the congressmen and Epstein. It's going to be, the Civil War will be like, we're sick of the subscriptions.
I mean, sign me up. Ironically, sign me up for that.
We're sick of it.
I'm fucking sick of everything needing a Wi-Fi signal and connecting it to my network and downloading an app and hooking up the Bluetooth. It's got to go. I'm done with it. Some things, yes, I understand. The Apple TV, whatever. Of course, we can use our brains. Some things need to be connected to the network. Not every single item in my house needs to live on my smartphone as a connected item.
I don't think most of it does.
No.
It's also like, I can't be trusted. Why are you connecting me to a thing? I'm going to fuck it up.
Yeah. No, just simple. A toaster just needs to toast bread, dude. It doesn't need to be hooked up to my Bluetooth.
Okay, I have a second gotta go.
Let's hear it.
It's similar to that. and I may have complained about this in various ways, but it is also technologically based, which is you buy something at a place and they get your email somehow or text and they want you to write a review. Rate us, write a review.
Sure.
You get 10% off your next whatever. How did it go with Maddie at the shoe shop or whatever? And I'm like, I didn't even want to go get shoes.
Yeah.
I had to. And now you're asking me to work for free.
Yeah.
As if I've been chosen in a jury pool, which I avoid jury duty like the plague.
Yes.
But you want me to act like somebody in power who's going to rate the performance of the person who did some rudimentary customer experience.
Yep.
Very rarely do I want to do that. And the only times I want to do that is when I've got an exceptional service or I see especially a young person who's like, seems like they're from the old world where they're like very exceptional at their job.
Sure.
And I'm like I'm in physical therapy and there was this young girl, I forget her name, but she was so erudite and present and positive, and she was so young that I was like, you're from the old world.
Yeah.
How did you? And she's like, even when I left, she goes, and there's like 4 or 5 people in PT who kind of come by. They're like, you doing good? Okay, on your next exercise. And she came by. I mean nothing to her. I made a couple jokes. But as I left, she was like chatting with her coworkers. And she goes, thank you so much, Brandon. Have a wonderful day. And she meant it. And I was like, oh, you too. Yeah. Is there somebody here I can talk to to explain how incredible you are? It's like you met somebody who, this is a digression, but took Henry to the train beach, and there were these kids filming the trains, and they were these YouTube kids. They were these nice high school kids who just filmed the trains arriving at the station.
Sure.
And Henry watches their YouTube. Yeah. And I go, oh my God, I took a picture of them with them. And they have like 50 subscribers, but it was so cute.
They're celebrities to Henry, though.
It was so cute. Yeah. And I was like, these are like, yes, it's YouTube, but I was like, these are like children from the old world.
Yeah.
And to just have to be like forced, it's like a self-checkout. Like, I don't want to self-checkout.
So I'm with you. Before you get into self-checkout, you got to save that one.
Yeah. No, I won't. I just mean like, it's like that. You're like making me work for your company.
Exactly. Yeah. The reviews, I have taken a stand and I do not do it.
Yeah.
Unless, like, some companies now will incentivize you to leave them a review. They'll like, we'll give you 10% off if you leave us a review or whatever. And sometimes I'll go, okay, yeah. If you are going to basically compensate me for doing this for you, okay, I'll think about it. But I'm not doing it for free for no reason. If I did get exceptional service, either exceptionally good or exceptionally bad, I may review you on my own accord. Yeah. But if you just ask me to review you, go fuck yourself.
I don't like the power. Part of it is I feel like they're trying to empower you to fire people.
No, because I don't think that's what it is. It's all the algorithm. It's all like, this is how they get new customers, right? So they're basically making you work for them because they're like, hey, leave us a review on Google and that gets us more customers.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, you want me to get you more customers. That's not my job.
No.
That's your marketing department's job, right? I'm not here to work for you and get you more customers.
Yeah, it's like, it's like if you post about us or something, that's free advertising for us. So if you do that, we'll compensate you or whatever. I understand that. I understand brand partnerships and things like that. Hell, I remember Marcus, my brother-in-law who lives in Portugal, years ago when he first started working for LAFC, the soccer team. I had just moved to Long Beach. And do you remember there's that juice shop called Salud?
Yeah.
And it's one of those, great shop if you live in Long Beach. They make juices and stuff like that. And it was kind of, ahead of the curve. And they were doing a remodel and they put up all this green kind of ivy wall. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Yeah. They had a sign and he goes, oh yeah, those are, what do they call them? Pose and steps? Step in.
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
He basically was like, yeah, people are going to take their picture with their phone in front of it.
In front of that, yeah.
And I go, why would they do that? He goes, well, I'm helping build and design the stadium for LAFC, and I designed a bunch of these throughout there that are these kind of picturesque places on a wall.
These backdrops
that seem unintentional, but they seem like a good place to stand to take your picture. Mm-hmm. And the way that we do it is we have our logo behind it.
Yeah.
And we'll have tag us, and you get a free beer or whatever. Yeah. And I go, tag you? And he goes, yeah, you say our name on this app called Instagram. And all over America, people are going to start standing in front of places and taking pictures. And I go, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. That's not going to work. And he goes, well, it's free advertising. I go, nobody's going to do that. What are they, chumps? Everywhere you go.
Flash forward 10 years.
It's the entire planet.
Yep.
You know?
So all this being said about don't force us to review your company or tell us your quality. For everyone listening to this, please rate and review us on your podcatcher.
Thank you, John. Actually, that's a recommendation.
That being said, please review us for free and leave
We're
us
the exception
5
of it.
stars, and we'll give you a discount on all our merchandise.
Yeah, on our tins, on our tobacco tins.
Listen, I do think this is different. We are providing a free podcast. We ask you for nothing, right?
Yeah.
This is free entertainment.
This is free.
The least you could do is
We're
rate us.
We're giving you tips.
And
okay?
You're giving us shit about clicking 5 stars? That'll take you half a second.
Like, subscribe, recommend your
what
family.
What are you doing?
Come on.
Come on. All right, let's take a break.
Welcome back to middle-aged guys crossing their legs. I can't wait for the YouTube comments.
I mean, we even are crossing the same
dragged.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Welcome back to recommendations. I'll go first.
You go first. Let's do it.
I'm sure you have a band that you go back to and go.
Yep, I do.
I have a few. Now, I've certainly gone back to some 90s bands lately. Stone Temple Pilots, Beck, Cake. I'll be like, damn, they're cooking. With everything going on in the world, with this current president, this current war, these current crises, I just put on Radiohead. And for the first time in my life, I went, God damn, they were right.
About anything specific?
When you think of a band and how the iconography of the artwork of their albums and what that evoked, and then the lyrical content and the titles of their songs, which very much span kind of a dystopian late stage capitalism of endless war and endless financial crisis and Orwellian police state surveillance and kind of ways of convincing you that what you see is not what is happening. Songs like 2 + 2 = 5, Down is the New Up, Wolf at the Door. I was listening to in Rainbows, they have a song called 4 Minute Warning. That's the last song on the second disc, which, man, it's such a great album.
That album is so good.
And it's like about a nuclear holocaust, and it's like stepping over bodies, hiding in the woods, running through the field. This is your 4 minute warning. It's obviously very grim and very dark. Not all their songs are like that, but I was just vibing, as the kids say, aura farming, as it were, Radiohead maxing. And I was just like, God damn. These guys who were talking about this shit 20, 30 years ago. I mean, their first albums, Creep and The Bends, Pablo Honey and The Bends, they weren't as conceptual as albums.
No,
they were, The Bends a little bit.
I mean, they were very early in their career with those albums.
But when they came out with OK Computer, and I remember that was like seeing the face of God. That was the first album for me that I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And the soundscape just pulled me into this. I mean, it was a perfect time, 7th, 8th grade, where I was in my feels, as Drake would say. But now revisiting those albums where history itself, the global order changing to the extent that it has so rapidly in the last few years with the release of the Epstein files and the instability of the American hegemony, and the migration crises and the TSA and the ICE attacks and the way that the order is completely falling apart. I'm listening to this Radiohead, and I can't say it's taken on a whole new meaning. It's taking on the meaning that was intended.
Sure.
But my recommendation is put on some Radiohead, guys.
Which album would you recommend? If you had to pick one, which would you recommend?
I would say In Rainbows.
Yeah.
But it's so hard. I mean, I'm looking
Hail to
at
the Thief is great too, dude.
Kid A. I mean, you're going through like Kid A, Hail to the Thief, In Rainbows, and it's just this journey into where we are and what it's almost like he like some soothsayer, some Native American chief had a vision and brought it back to the tribe.
Yeah.
And that's what Tom York and Johnny Greenwood I feel like were doing.
I love Radiohead too. I mean, they're weird in the best possible ways, right? They're what you want from your artists. I mean, they don't come out and speak a lot about their political beliefs that I've heard too much, right? They don't try to, we don't want artists try to talk about their songs too much sometimes. I think it kind of destroys the mystery around them a little bit. I think they really let their art speak for itself. Yeah. And they're great, man. Just love Radiohead.
It is such incredible music, man.
Wow.
Obviously nothing new, but listen to it now, guys.
Yeah.
Listen to Radiohead right now.
I love it. It's funny that that's your recommendation because I also have a music recommendation, which is a new documentary came out this past week on Netflix.
On Melania.
That would be funny if I recommended Melania.
She is trying on so many shoes.
No. So it is The Rise of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Our Brother Hillel. I'm not sure if you're a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan or not.
I'm not.
And I don't know if you saw this documentary or not.
Nope.
But
are you saying Our Brother Hillel? Like
Hillel, the name Hillel. Hillel.
Okay. I was thinking like something that's been blessed by I'm into eat.
Sure.
Like kosher food, but for Muslims.
Sure. I understand. Like a rabbi blessed it or something. Yeah. No. So I've always been, I would say, middle of the road Red Hot Chili Pepper fan. Not a huge fan.
My wife's a big fan.
Your wife and I have similar taste in music sometimes. Yeah. So, and I've always liked them, and I've always known a little bit about their backstory, but not a ton. And this documentary just came out, and it really focuses on the very beginnings of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and their first guitarist, who was Hillel Slovak, and died of an overdose right as they were making their break. Right as, like, literally, right as they, like, just before Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic came out, right?
I didn't know
so
that.
Right when they were breaking, he died of an overdose. And he was really, like, the seed that started this band. And so they go back, it's Flea and Anthony Kiedis, and they're talking about how they came around. And he was this kid in high school that they really looked up to, who was a musician, and he got both of them into playing music. Flea was just a trumpet player, and he asked Flea to join his band and to learn how to play bass. And then, Anthony Kiedis ended up coming along much later, and so, I mean, he was like the generation of all of it and really started this whole thing rolling for them. And then they all got really into drugs.
Sure.
But he was just not able to make his way out of it. And he was just such this really bright light in their life. And I mean, it's very obvious when you watch this. It's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, for sure, 1,000% would not be around without this guy.
Wow.
Right? Like, I mean, he was the start of it. And it was, we all know Anthony Kiedis now and Flea now. And it's really interesting to see them be so vulnerable and talking about and giving so much respect to this person all these years later that they certainly don't have to, right? No one would fault them at this point for not celebrating this person, right? And I mean, they cannot even talk about him without tearing up so much now.
Wow.
And they talk about his family and his mother and all the, and they're just celebrating him so much. And I found it to be such a beautiful documentary that they wanted to celebrate their friend who really started this all for them, this whole journey for them years and years ago.
Yeah, probably 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I started to read his book Scar Tissue, and it's one of my wife's favorite books, and I unfortunately didn't get to finish it, but I should, because the first three quarters, first 1 quarter that I read, I was like, God damn, this guy knows how to write. Or he had a great ghostwriter, but it was very engaging.
No, I mean, that's supposed to be, I mean, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research on scar tissue, but I mean, it's a very celebrated book. It's Anthony Kiedis's kind of memoirs.
Yeah.
So after watching this, you kind of, beat me to the punchline a little bit, which is I've never actually read Scar Tissue, and I've always been meaning to get around to it. But Anthony Kiedis' memoirs, which is Scar Tissue, and Flea has one too, which is also very celebrated, called Acid for the Children.
Did it just come out?
No, it's been out for years.
Well, randomly, Flea has a new album, and it showed up on my Spotify. Is it pre-save? And there were like 2 or 3 songs out. And I listened to him, and it's a jazz album, and they're fucking awesome. And he does a spoken word song, and I was like, is that motherfucker playing the trumpet? And he was, and I didn't know that he used to play the trumpet.
He's an excellent trumpet player. Flea is the best. I mean, people know him. If you don't know his backstory and what he's done, people just know him as kind of the crazy, bass player wearing underwear from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He does all this philanthropy work. He has a music school for underprivileged kids in the Los Angeles area that he fully supports. I mean,
he has many great small acting roles, including Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's right.
Needles, right?
Yeah.
His name was Needles.
Yeah, he's Michael J. Fox's boss, right?
No. Wasn't he the nemesis?
In number 2, he's his boss.
Oh, yeah.
Or his whatever, yeah.
But he was like a street punk kind of.
They would get into a racing scene. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so it really made me, I highly recommend this documentary. If you are at all interested in Red Hot Chili Peppers, I thought it was fantastic. It was very well done. It was pretty, it wasn't too long. It was an hour and a half, maybe. I forget, 86 minutes, I think. Perfect. Right? The director, I looked him up. His name's Ben Feldman, not the actor Ben Feldman. Oh, okay. There's a famous actor, Ben Feldman, but he's just done some TV stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think the story was so beautiful, and it goes down real easy. And it was very enjoyable. So I highly recommend it. It's streaming on Netflix now. Just came out this past week.
Dude, we'll watch it.
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
Great rec. Wonderful show.
All right. So anybody you want to shout out for the end of the show here?
Boy, obviously Flea, Anthony Kiedis, Larry Ellison, as always, David Ellison too, his wonderful son. Shout out to Jared Kushner. Shout out to Ayatollah Khomeini, R.I.P.
How about to everybody about to celebrate Easter and go on their spring breaks with their children?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to spring break. Shout out to the moms there who are having to make the spring break schedules because the dads are useless pieces of garbage.
All the moms out there who had to plan spring break trips for their families.
Mom, I love you, Mom. It's like in the 90s of rap, like every other rap song would be like, hey, mama. Everybody's ripping off Tupac.
Yep.
So my mom...
That's what this podcast is just going to be us shouting out our wives every week about how much we love them.
They don't listen to the show. They definitely don't. Yeah. Any other shout outs?
I don't know, man. Shout out to your exterminator.
Dude, yeah. Shout out to all the exterminators out there.
Keep the mosquitoes away.
You're the real ones. Yeah. We know you're going to die of liver cancer. So we're thanking you now for your service because of all those chemicals that you're exposing your body to.
Protecting us.
Negative shout out to mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Times may change, but fuck you, mosquitoes. And if anybody's out there, some of these libtards defending mosquitoes, they're part of the ecosystem. My itchy legs are not.
The bats will find something else to eat.
Yeah. We need to get more bats in this country.
And on that note, we'll see you guys next week.
Listen, They're Fine is produced and edited by Wyatt Gray. Original music is by John Ahern. John's Instagram is @JohnAhernMusic.
And you can find Bubba's Inappropriate Parenting on Instagram @Bubba Ogborn. You can find our recommendations linked in the show notes.
If you have feedback or topic suggestions, our show email is listenthey'refine@gmail.com. I've actually never checked that Gmail. I probably should.
Me either. And you can find us on Instagram @ListenThey'rFine.
We did have a TikTok, but because it was bought by Larry Ellison and the Ellison family.
We're out. If you made it this far without calling Child Protective Services, please leave us a 5-star review. We're not going to pay you for it.
It helps other questionable parents find us.
Share the chaos, tell a friend, tell your therapist, tell anyone who needs to feel better about their own parenting choices.
If you want to, you don't have to, but hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'll give you a gift card to Subway.